All right. So I'm really excited you guys are here with me today because we are going to talk about pre-religion spiritual concepts, right? Where it was more about experience, right, over compliance. We live in a compliance world, but before it was compliance, it was experience, right? So I think we need to take it back to the basics, okay? And we're going to learn about what it was like before we became indoctrinated, before we became obedient, before we mathematically formulated into this, what we are today, right? So we need to start thinking about those things, all right? So what made me really get into this was just like, okay, we already know things are not really real. And you've heard me say this many times before. History is not as you remember it or not as you've been told, basically, right? History has been manipulated, just like energies have been manipulated, okay? We're going to unravel, okay, all of that baggage. We're not going to be bag ladies. We're not going to be bag men anymore, okay? We're releasing. So, how did they live back then? What is the difference in what they did, which, if you look at their monuments, you can clearly tell that their thought process was a little bit different than ours, right? Right. Let's take, 100 people. Let's take 5,000 people from all over the world and go tell them to make something like a pyramid. We can't do that. Oh, we need special stuff if you give us the right tools. What did they have that we just don't have? They knew that we were definitely a part of the land, right? And I know we've heard this a million times, right? But it's really deep. That's why when you go outside and you take your feet off, your body becomes electrified with the ground. You are so much more connected to this earth as a being on the 3D dimension here on this earth than you know. It's like they lived off of direct experience, right? So some of the things that you may have heard of, like Tao, the way, Dharma, breathing, all these different rituals that were happening all over the world, right? Okay, so let's see what happens next. So, political institution realized the belief could unify populations. Spiritual language started to be codified and policized. Yes, I'm reading this because me and ChatGPT work together. So, authenticity, that matters, right? Not necessarily that you needed to know that, but look it up yourself. That's what I like to do. Y'all sit up here and y'all scroll, look it up. Do your research. Okay. So since I'm doing the research for you, I'm letting you know. Anyway, so what did they use? They use clergy as gatekeepers. Remember? Still to this day, you'll run into somebody, find out they're a pastor, and just start, maybe treating them a little bit different. Or you find out, let's not use pastor. Let's do something different. You find a celebrity, right? So you start acting so different around that celebrity, right? Not knowing that celebrity is gatekeeping something from you. Mm. You're giving them all of your energy. Look at you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's many type of gatekeepers out here. And I know that is probably deeper than what you would ever even think, right? But this is what you need to hear. Because it's real. Even if you don't. Uh, the reason why you don't is because you're blocked. Unblock yourself, okay? How do you do that? Keep following my series. We'll find out. All right. So, what did they use? They used fear-based consequences, right? You don't join this religion. You don't join this kingdom. You don't join this land. And if you do, then you're banished. You're hurt. Slaves. Which is why my talks generally always end up going back to the Africana. We were the first people. And we were enslaved. Our land taken. Why? Because we had better resources and people couldn't do what we could do because we had something in us that was just different. Why? Because we were the first. Which is why I will always go back to we have to look before all of this stuff. It is what it is. I'm not here to say that that makes me any better. It doesn't. I just know. I know it was done to my people. Still being done. And I also know that we have certain gifts within us that no other culture has. It's been talked about plenty of times. Most people already know it, but it's always going to go back to that. I love everyone. We are all equal, right? We are all the same. Message, confirmation. Okay? So no matter where you are, what you represent, just know that you're actually a part of the collective consciousness that you keep hearing about nowadays. It's just some people are able to see things. This pattern, institutions, authority, obedience. Like, just listen to the frequency. The frequency. Energy. It's all energy. Words. I went through, and one of the things I looked at, because, people always like to say, oh, you just denounce Christianity. Actually, I love Christianity. I've studied the Bible. I've studied the Quran. I've studied Asian. I've studied all kinds of different facets of religion because I knew that they were all connected. And they are. Just like we are. It's just that depending on where you're from, the environment and the energy centers, okay? This is why we are all this is so beautiful, right? Right? We're all living on the same timeline. And we're all living on different timelines. And we're all living on our separate timeline. Energy fields. Energy fields. That's all it is. This religion, that religion, this belief, oh, those crystals. Tarot cards. I work with them all. Why? Why should I be constrained? did too. Just one. Why should I? We are human. We encompass all. And I'm not saying you have to be all. Ugh, that's gross. Nobody wants to be all. You can't be other people either. Nope. Girlfriend, boyfriend. Trust me, okay? What you seeing right here looks nothing like what I've been through. Right. Oh, what was that stuff gets on my nerves. You fix it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm fixing it. And I am making videos that probably don't make a ton of sense because they're all over the place. But once I can calculate and work on my energy centers on where I'm going to put this, I'm going to push it out. And I know it'll reach the right people. And I know some systems are going to be looked at a little bit differently. And that's okay. That's okay. Even the systems themselves, I know you're mad or whatever, but like, come on now. You know you've been doing wrong. Like, come on. Can you genuinely say that you were doing right? Like, even though I am those that when listen, okay? You have people who think, oh, she's so light. Oh yeah, she's all about light work. No, girl, boy, bye. I've been wrestling in the dark before too. But let me tell you something, okay? I tend to lean a lot more to the light. Why? I don't know. My brain wants to think positive a lot, okay? Even when a lot of negativity. My brain just sees positive, and I think that's only because where I like to be is in the middle. That authentic. It is what it is. But let's keep going. Key distinction, connection as an innate human experience versus connection being something that you're giving or denied. Okay? When they say you can work for 40 years and then we'll give you a pension, we'll give you retirement. If you don't, you'll be denied. I refuse to work for a W-2 job. You're going to deny my savings? You're going to deny what I can't even use that word. Like, work is so gross. You have to experience. That's what I do. I experience. Like, I tell you, I've done like 5 billion things, okay? Like, I am not one thing ever. And I can change like that. So easy. So easy. So, connection isn't something that you're given or denied. It's an experience that you have, right? So whether that experience was a good experience, right? Or a bad experience, right? The truth is it was an experience. That person did not deny you. That person experienced you and could not experience you the way that they should or could or want or whatever. Okay? Who cares? Okay? But they came and played in your energy. That makes you mad. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Why? Why shouldn't it affect you? Because we're all experiencing things. Okay? You just got to experience someone who would just come play in your energy. Now you know that experience. You get to decide within yourself, not given, not denied, unless self gives or denies. You just experience. That's all it is. Okay, so if we're going to break this down, it is an experience that turns into a belief, right? I experience a lot of injustice that has been done upon not only to myself, a lot to myself, trust me. But I see it in the world. I had to experience these things to experience the next part of my journey. You will have to experience things. Experience. I think there should be another word that uses that word. Okay, anyway. Okay. Relationships became authority, all right? If we look at the universal laws, there is a divine masculine and a divine feminine. Or, I mean, even if you're in the same sexual relationship, there's generally a more masculine person, more feminine person. I don't know. Either way. You know what they did? What I saw was that, and I mean, I guess the man is the head. Let's just say it. And that's what we've been taught. Even if you go look in the Bible, where are the books on the women? We'll go look in that Ethiopian Bible though, you know. But we ain't gonna talk about that. Okay, anyway. So yeah. That's wrong. No. We're both divine and need each other. Right? It's an experience, not something given, not something denied. So, when you learn these things, you learn about your inner presence, right? Versus external permission, right? So when you're scrolling on your phone looking for external permission, you know what I'm saying? You're going to vibrate on that external. You're going to vibrate literally on outer space. You know, because inner space, outer space, yeah, I know. Anywho, and you have an inner presence. That inner presence, which is inside of you, call it intuition, call it feeling, emotion, actually matters, you know. So anywho, next thing, the way of living became a system of rules, right? Okay, so these rules get placed, these systems set the rules, and people just think that, okay, they have to follow the rules because they just want to live, not knowing that they're tying up their creativity. They're not noticing they're activating within themselves. They just want to follow the rules. They just want to be good people. But those systems fail you. Fail you. Fail others. They succeed as well. Why? Because there's balance in this world. And all I keep reading in between all of these lines is the only thing that matters is authenticity. Okay, so that was a 20-minute video. All right, so